This is the man to beat, Laurent Aiello in the Peugeot. 2 races so far, 2 victories. He leads the points. He's going to be tough. Second in the points, this man, Joachim Winkelhock, looking for his first victory this season. A former champ, wants to get back on top. And another of the challengers, Marco Werner in the Honda. He's finished well so far this season. Can he improve? We'll find out in the Super Touring Car Cup competition in Zolder, Belgium. Hello everyone, welcome to Zolder. This is Milt Fitzwater reporting. Clouds hang over the track today. There's a threat of rain, but promises to be some great racing. 31 cars lined up for the start here in Zolder after qualifying yesterday. On the pole position is this man, Johnny Cecotto. The first time this season that he's brought his BMW to the pole position. He knows it's important here in Zolder.
It's a hard circuit to pass, and it's a very hard circuit for the tires. So I prefer to be in that position, and I'm very happy with the job we did in the car now.
His biggest challenger, his teammate, this man, Joachim Winkelhock. He'll be riding outside. He was not happy about his performance in qualifying.
I must say I have to criticize myself because I was not good enough. The car was ready and I didn't use the whole potential of the soft tires. So at the moment I'm a little bit upset with myself.
Starting in third position, Laurent Aiello, the point leader. 2 victories at Hockenheim. Can he make it number 3? Next to him, the youngster, 25-year-old Christian Menzel. He has surprised everyone, particularly in qualifying here in Zolder. The track, 4.18 kilometers, or about 2.6 miles long. 2 races set for today on this difficult course.
It's very technical and very hard for the driver and the car because you have always very slow chicanes and you have to change up from first to 6th gear and down to 1st gear. That's very physical for the car and for the driver as well.
New to the field, Eric Ellery from France, sitting in for Leopold van Bayern in the BMW. He's a test driver for BMW. And Opel, they certainly hope that they can improve on their Hockenheim performance. They're coming into the series as newcomers, but they've had their share of problems, but they have their goals set.
I hope that by Nürburgring we can finish under the first 10. That's about our first step, and I hope that by Nürburgring we're going to have some more changes in regards of engine and so on and so forth, so that which enables us to get more in the first lead there, or let's say into the first 10 positions, and that is about our main target. Right now we are in a position to once in a while come up to 6 or to 9 or something like that, but we cannot get all the cars into the same level. So our target definitely is to let's say to come up amongst the first 10.
Here in Zolder, they've qualified 14th with the Opel. Let's see how they do. We're ready to go. Johnny Cecotto on the pole. He is on the right side of your screen. To the left of him, his teammate, Joachim Winkelhock, waiting for the green. We're underway. Cecotto gets a good jump. A look to the right. Emmanuel Pirot in the Audi also gets a great jump from the 3rd row. Looks like he's moved up the 3rd. He has. It's Cecotto in the lead, followed by Winkelhock. Behind Winkelhock then comes the surprising Emmanuel Pirot, who had a great start. The course now winds around with a series of right-handers here, a short straight, and then it sets them up for the fastest part of the course, a right-hander, and then they'll head out down the long straightaway behind the pit area. They'll get up to speeds of over 130 miles an hour as they head back toward the pits. Here they come. This is the fastest part of the course. So it is first Cecotto, then Winkelhock, then comes Pirot, then comes Menzel, and look at Aiello. Aiello in the yellow Peugeot trying to move up, but so is Menzel. And Menzel gets by Pirot to move into 3rd place. You're riding with Aiello. He wants to go by Pirot. Can he make it here? Down the hill, they'll head toward another chicane. It looks like he may have made it. He has not. They bump, and Pirot won't let him by. So Aiello drops back in, protects his position in 4th place, but he's going to have to try it again later. And there he is, the young Christian Menzel in his BMW, running 3rd. An amazing performance by the youngster coming from Formula 3. And the bright yellow Audi, that day-glow color Audi, is driven by Christian Abt. Now, he is an independent driver. He's not factory sponsored. And look at that, he's running right up there in, looks like 5th or 6th place. You're riding with Aiello. With Pirro right in front of him. And the first lap is over with BMW out in front, 1 and 2. Actually, 3 with Menzo. Pirro is running 4th. Aiello is running 5th. Aiello trying to get by Pirro right now. Aiello in the yellow Peugeot. Here he comes. And Pirro cuts him off. There's no room. But let's see how long he can hang on. The Peugeot is tough. The Audis have not been performing as people would hope they would. They're the defending champion, but they did not have the greatest of starts in Hockenheim, but they seem to be running much better here in the dry, that's for sure. Manuel Pirro can't worry about Christian Menzel ahead of him. He's got to hold off. Here comes Aiello again. This time he's by. Through the chicane, and Laurent Aiello has moved into 4th place. Pirro, then comes Abt. And behind Abt comes Muller in another Audi. So the Audis are running in a group there, a 3er, followed by a Nissan. And there's your leader, Johnny Cicotto. Winkelhock right behind him on his bumper. Then by himself in 3rd place is Christian Menzel. And the field starts to sort itself out. There are the 2 Hondas. You'll notice them by the red and white markings. They're back in the pack right now. Everyone's sorting themselves out well here in the sprint race in Zolder. The sprint race covering 12 laps. There's a short break, and then they'll come back and run the feature race. The object here, of course, is to get the car home. You finish as well as you can with the least amount of damage or wear and tear so that you're ready for the longer race, which has double the number of points. The drivers and cars receive points for the sprint race and for the feature race. And one of the Hondas is out, or at least is parked on the side of the course. Let's see what happened. Werner and Hager collide. Teammates on Honda have collided. Hager keeps going. Werner has his car parked, and one of the Nissans also seems to be having some problems. But up front, with no problems, the 2 BMWs. Winkelhock is running 2nd, and he's running right up on the bumper of Cicotto. And when you realize that these 2 are teammates, you can see what kind of competition there is on the Bugazzi team. You can also imagine that the Bugazzi team sits there watching the monitors, and their stomach turns over every time one of the 2 tries to pass the other. There is Modena in the Alfa Romeo. So far, one of the top Alfa Romeos in the field, but they also have had their share of problems as they get into the Super Touring Car Cup of Germany. Right behind Modena is an Opel. It is the Opel of Manuel Reuter. He certainly had hoped for bigger things as the season went along, but right now they have to get that Opel up to speed so it stays in the top 10. There comes Chris Nissen, followed by Reuter and the rest of the field. You're riding with Jochen Winkelhock. He is riding 2nd behind his teammate, Johnny Cicotto. You get a great view of the course here in Zolder. Skies overcast. It has sprinkled yesterday and it sprinkled a little bit this morning, but right now it is dry. Aiello has now moved into 3rd. Aiello has gotten past Christian Menzel and has moved into 3rd. So you have the top 3 in the points race running 1, 2, and 3. Manuel Pirro in that gray Audi is running right behind Menzel in 5th. There is Aiello, Laurent Aiello, the winner of the sprint and the feature race at Hockenheim. And back in the pack on the right-hand side, the Honda of Alfred Hager is going by Jorg van Olmen. Hager is going to have to prove himself here after knocking his teammate out. He's going to have to put the pressure on to bring that home enough points to make the folks at Honda at least happy. He's up on Van Omen, and he has plenty of room. Bartels in the Opel is running right behind Van Omen. And then there's an Audi of Philip Pater behind there in this 4 group here. So Hager is out in front in a pack that's running back for 10th place. And Hager's starting to pull away. So the Honda trying to get her loose from this group and pull away to maybe move up another slot or 2. Then comes Van Omen in the Peugeot, Bartels in the Opel, and then the Audi of Philip Pater, 11th, 12th, and 13th. And Pater wants to get by Bartels. He's pulled up on the bumper as they came around the lake here. A short chute, then they come down to the fast part of the course, and at the breaking point before the chicane is when everybody can pass. So let's see here. Here comes the Honda. Hager has pulled away. Van Omen has Bartels behind him, and Philip Pater has not made the move here. They're going to go through the chicane with no troubles. Chris Nissen in that day glow yellow App Sports line Audi. Can't get any closer than that. Bartels knows that Philip Pater wants to get by, but right now he's not giving him any room whatsoever. Now he's gone inside. Is he going to be able to make it here? He gets by. So the Audi of Philip Pater has moved up to 12th position. Hager 10th in the Honda, then comes the Peugeot of Van Omen, then the Audi of Philip Pater, and then the Opel of Michel Bartels. There comes Hager, then Van Omen, but back in the pack, more battling going on. The yellow Opel of Kurt Team wants to get by, but there's a bunch of Alfa Romeos also here battling. You have Schminkler in front of Engsler. First 2 cars in this Alfa Romeo parade. Then comes Niedzwitz, and pulling out from Niedzwitz is Christian Donner. Donner gets by Niedzwitz. He has Kurt Team behind him now. This all back in the pack. The Alfa Romeos certainly have had their share of problems as the season goes along, and right now Donner in the Alfa Romeos moved up. There you see how he got by, but he was bumped by Engsler. And now we have another collision with Donner and Engsler. And that was how Donner got dropped back a little bit. Meanwhile, up front, nothing's changed. Johnny Cicotto in his BMW, followed by Winkelhock. Aiello is 3rd. Look at that, the Audi is running 4th, so Pirro is doing well here. Manzel, the young driver in the BMW, running 5th. And the independent driver, Christian Abt, is running 6th. Couple of surprises. Mark Gindorf, his BMW, parked on the side. Looks like his first race of the day is over with. They want to try to get it back as they can, and get him ready for the second race if possible. Gindorf, one of the independent drivers in the series. Johnny Cicotto, a former champion in the series, followed by another former champion in the series. Everyone wondered at the beginning of the year how this combination of 2 very aggressive drivers would work out. Here you get a look at Jochen Winkelhock running 2nd. Winkelhock, a very gregarious person. You sit down and talk with him, it's always fun. He always is very honest, as we heard in the beginning when he said he wasn't happy with himself in qualifying. Right now, he just has to sit on the bumper and wonder if he's going to be able to get by his teammate. We're saying that they both were very aggressive, and yet because they are both veterans in the sport, you don't see them taking unnecessary chances. So when one passes the other, they really have beaten him in the corner. There's not much bumping going on. But here's some bumping, or at least some spinning went on, as Chris Nissen went off the course in the chicane. Once again, back with the leaders, Cicotto and Winkelhock in the Bugazzi BMW team. Let's take a look. Here's what happened. It was a case where Nissen was helped off the track by a Nissan, and it was driven by Sascha Maassen. So Chris Nissen will drop back a little bit. Look at the Audi from Pirro, had to take an extra route to get off that course, to get around. The Chicago Winkelhock team are also the team that are used to count for the Manufacturers Championship. They are running second right now in that Manufacturers Championship behind Peugeot. Before the season, the teams had to name 2 drivers who would represent them in the Manufacturers Championship. Joachim Winkelhock has the fastest lap right now, but he is sitting in second place. So each team came up with 2 names. Those cars will count toward the Manufacturers Championship. The other cars are battling for a team championship, so there are 2 of those going on at once. So it's very important that the top cars finish well, and right now BMW couldn't be happier with them running 1 and 2. There is one other championship that goes along, and that's the Junior Championship, but right now that is the territory of Christian Menzel, the way he's driving. Ronnie Milkus is the other young driver. You have to be under 26 years of age to compete in the Junior Championship. There are a couple of juniors scheduled to join the circuit in the next couple of races. They were scheduled to start in the beginning of the season. However, their cars were not ready, so it's hoped that they will be joining the series in the next couple of races. The BMW parade continues here at Zolder in the first race of the day, the sprint race in the Super Touring Car Cup. According to the team, there is no saying who is number 1 and number 2. So right now, if Winkelhock wants to challenge Cecotto, he can. But it's a matter now of, are we going to get the points and can we finish first and second? Well, the team finishes ahead. They both will pick up important points toward the Drivers' Championship. And if Aiello's finishes third, it'll remain tight, but they at least will take the main competition and shove them back just a little bit. You can see the difference now between the first 2 cars and then the third place car. The yellow Peugeot will come around the corner in a moment. There he was, just a moment. We'll see if we can catch him again. You can see the difference between the first 2 and the third place cars. All right, now the camera is staying with the leading pair here in Zolder. There is Christian Menzel. Menzel is being challenged now by Christian Abt in the Audi. This for 4th and 5th place. Menzel, a young driver coming from Formula 3, has adapted to touring cars very, very quickly. And behind him is one of the surprises of last season, Christian Abt in an independent team. He drove extremely well, surprised everyone. So you have 2 relative newcomers back there battling for 5th and 6th place. Up front, you got the veterans, Cecotto and Winkelhock, followed by Peugeot's Laurent Aiello. And another car has gone off the course. It looks like Christian Menzel. Christian Menzel has gone off the course and will drop back a number of positions after running a very strong 4th. Hopefully get a chance to see what happened there as Menzel went off the course. It means that Christian Abt will most likely move up a position. Another battle back in the pack. Here's, it is Abt, and Abt looks like he bumped into Menzel and sent him off the course. Abt wanted to go by and bumped him. Let's take another look here. Menzel had the corner, Abt drove into him. Menzel couldn't do anything about that one. He had the corner, it was his, and Abt drove into his door. So young Christian Menzel initiated into touring car racing and its difficulties. Cecotto continues to run very, very smoothly. Winkelhock now is not challenging really at all. He has settled into second place. Meanwhile, back in the pack, there is Abt coming by. And look at this. Eric Ellery of France in his first event is running right now up behind Christian Abt. So the BMW of Ellery doing extremely well, but he has a phalanx of Audis behind him. There's Muller, there's Pater. Philip Pater would like to also get by, and Pater gets by Muller. So the Audis are battling each other. There's a Nissan right behind him, and then comes Alfred Hager. The Nissan, driven by Maassen. And now the Nissan and the Honda want to go at it, and the Honda goes inside and gets by Maassen. So Hager moves up a slot, getting by Maassen in the Nissan. Philip Pater moving up on Ellery. Ellery continues to drive extremely well here. He's running 5th. And we have the Schmickler Alfa Romeo off the course. So the Alfa cars continue to have problems. It belongs to the Engsler team. Here comes Manuel Reuter, and he's going to go by Bartels. So Manuel Reuter in the Opel has moved up a slot. He has moved by Bartels. And he now is running right up about 13th. So Opel's still looking to get the cars back up. There is the Burgstaller Opel. It's identical to the one driven by Reuter, except for the rear view mirrors. Reuter's rear view mirrors are yellow. You can see him right there as he comes by. Burgstaller's are white. Modena continues to try to bring his Alfa Romeo to the front. Here comes Alfred Hager again. This time he gets by Muller. So Hager continues to battle, but Muller's coming back. As they head down the start-finish line straightaway, they're running side by side. And look at the Nissan right behind, ready to gobble up whoever makes a mistake. This trio heads into the left-hander. Hager holds position, and it looks like he got by. Or did he? Yes, he did, as they head into the right-hander. And Maassen can only sit back and watch. And now Muller wants to try again. They've got the short chute here, and then they'll head down the long straightaway. Here comes Muller, and he bumps into Hager. And Hager goes off after a great drive. Hager, who had been running right there 11th, goes off the course. Muller evidently has metal up against his tire. You can see it on the outside. Let's take a look. Muller wanted to move in. Hager drove into him going around the corner. That's one of the ones you talk about later and argue over who had the right into that corner. And here comes Johnny Cecotto. And Cecotto picks up the checkered flag in the sprint race here in Zolder, Belgium. Winkelhock comes in second. Aiello will finish third. And Pirro will come in fourth. Back in the back, there's still a battle going on as Modena gets by Alsen. Everyone is running to the flag. Here comes Muller. He's got the Nissan behind him. And Muller goes off. What's going to happen? Let's see. And Maassen got by him. So a mistake by Muller allows Maassen to move up and finish in 8th place. A dramatic finish there for 8th. You can see probably what happened with Muller, of course, is that tire, the metal rubbing against the tire. He went off the course. Maassen took advantage of it and moved up. And right at the end, Michel Bartels had problems and went off the course. So there's your final standings in the sprint race here in Zolder, Belgium. Cecotto, your winner, followed by Winkelhock and Aiello.
Well, we had prepared the car very hard. We worked to catch up with the Peugeot, and seemingly we done so. I think I'm very happy with the first result, but the second one is the most important one. We are very confident. I think both drivers, they were managing their tires in the first race. Let's see what's going on the second.
You're in a difficult situation in a way, in the fact that you have two very good and very aggressive drivers on the same team.
Well, there is no orders. Any one of them can win the race. The fastest one will win. But they're both intelligent. They won the points, so we should see.
And the man that took the most points drove this car, Johnny Ciccato. He was looking to conserve tires.
This was my main goal, to save the tires. And in fact, I mean, there was no problem to maintain them, but I think for the longer race we have to change compound.
All right, everything looked very smooth. The car didn't have any problems whatsoever.
No, not really. It was running perfect.
So all the changes that were made in the tests seem to have proved to be good then?
Yes, of course. I mean, despite of the short time we had, the work, the mechanics, the team did was fantastic.
The second place car of Jochen Winkelhock, it looked kind of easy. In fact, it looked like he was coasting, but that wasn't the case.
No, it was not easy. I was at the limit because I was trying to catch Johnny. But in the first half of the race, I was a little bit quicker, especially in the quick corner and in the braking. But maybe I was a little bit too hard for the front, especially for the front left tire. So in the last 2 laps, I lost a lot because the front left tire was completely destroyed.
So the mechanics go to work to get the cars ready for the second race of the day, and while they do that, we'd like to present a couple of drivers in the field today. This is the Abt Sportsline Audi. You can't miss it. Day-glow colors for this man, Christian Abt. They have been competitive all year long, and it's amazing. They're just an independent. They're not a factory operation. Really kind of wonder, how do they do it?
Wir arbeiten mit Sicherheit nicht mehr mit dem Budget, was
We don't have the budget of a factory team.
es sind bei uns an jedem Fahrzeug 3 Personen.
There are 3 people
Und das
per
das
car
ganze
on the
Jahr.
team, and we're able to
Und also ist
remain
der gleiche
competitive
Aufwand,
for
wie
the
man
entire year. And this driver's a junior, but he's right up there with the best. 25-year-old Christian Menzel grabbed everyone's attention at Hockenheim with a 7th and 8th place finish. He started 4th today in the first race ahead of many of the top-name stars. This in his first year in touring cars.
I think it is not the same, but it is not so big problem to jump from a Formula 3 in a touring car, because you must drive very clean, not oversteering also. And for me, is it good? I have a good feeling in this car, and there's no problem.
Menzel has certainly made his mark. BMW was confident he could do it, but not quite so quickly.
It is for me the biggest surprise, because we had say in the beginning from the season, okay, when I come under the top 15, then is it very good. And in the moment is it fantastic, because we have an old car from the last season, and we see a 1-year-old BMW is a very good BMW, and and okay, I'm happy. I have a wonderful team, and BMW do all for me, and that is very important. And my feeling is so good in the moment, and I hope I have a big future in this series here.
We have found Menzel end of last season. We did a junior evaluation and we found him out amongst 4 others. And he's very strong, he's very good. He drives a 96 car. So it's obvious that even a 96 BMW is very quick. And it's quite promising what he's doing.
Are you surprised at all?
A little bit, yes, because it's very difficult for a young driver to get this chance. Having no sponsor, having nothing, just his ability and performance to drive a car very good. And but he can handle this pressure very, very good. And the first race was good. Now he is surprisingly quick, and we have to see how it's in the race.
And how he was 11th place after running up in 4th. So not bad for the young driver. Ready to go in the second race. It's been declared a wet race because it has been raining on and off. A number of the drivers are on intermediate tires. Some of them have chosen slicks. We'll get to which ones. Pirro, for instance, in the Audi, running in the 4th starting position, is running on slicks. So we'll have to see how he starts. Here we go. This is the feature race. They'll be running 24 laps. Ciccato seems to get the jump. He does. Or did he? Let's wait and see. The rest of the field gets us away here. And Winkelhock got a great start, but look at the Audi. And Pirro was not able to hold on going into the corner, and Winkelhock jumped out in front. So Jochen Winkelhock, who had to swallow the bumper of Ciccato all the way through the first race, now shows his bumper to his teammate. And Pirro in the Audi is running 3rd, and the rest of the pack sorts itself out. But once again, the 2 BMW teammates pull away from the rest of the field. That is Christian Abt in that Day-Glow Abt Audi running 4th behind Pirro. And then comes Aiello in the 5th slot. He got off to a bad start. You're riding with him right now. So Laurent had a very bad start here. He's running back in 5th place after finishing 3rd in the first race. Aiello is now challenging Abt. And here's the battle. Boy, you really can't miss that Dayglow yellow, can you? Aiello continues to put the pressure on Abt, but this is the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. And Abt moves out. Here comes Aiello. We got a 3-pack going into the corner, and it's Aiello who goes way inside. It looked like he might have gotten by Pirot. He has Abt in front of him. So it looks like Aiello, he did. He moved up a spot. Now he's got to take on Christian Abt. And meanwhile, right behind him is another battle. That white BMW on the right is Ellery. He gets by Pirot, and Pirot, who started on slicks, evidently having trouble here. It's raining on and off. You can see the windshield wipers going, and so Pirot has put himself at a disadvantage. Even though he has 4-wheel drive in his Audi, he is not going to be competitive with the intermediates as long as the track stays wet, and it is wet. And we have a car spinning out, everybody going around him. And that is Werner in the Honda. Your leaders continue to pull away from the pack. It's amazing how the BMWs are running here. Here comes Aiello again. This time he's getting by Christian Abt to take over 3rd place. So we're back to how we finished in the first race of the day in the sprint here in Zolder, with the 2 BMWs up in front and the Peugeot of Laurent Aiello running 3rd. The change comes is when Christian Abt is running 4th. And the Audis continue to drop back. Take another look at this as Aiello gets by Christian Abt. There you see the Opel of Manuel Reuter. Opel continues to struggle here, but they know that, and they just have to keep working at it. And the Alpha of Bromberger spins out. Bromberger spins out in the Alfa Romeo, so Alpha continues to have its share of problems. We saw Reuter just a few moments ago. He was the best placed Opel in the first race, coming in 12th, so they still haven't broken the top 10 here. Here he comes right there. Manuel Reuter in the Opel. But there are your top 4. Here comes Abt. You can see the rain is still coming down. Ellery now and Philipp Peter battling for 5th place. And Ellery gets by. So the driver sitting in for Leopold von Bayern in the BMW is running right up here in front in the feature race here in Zolder, Belgium of the Super Touring Car Cup. The Audis, windshield wipers going, but they're running on slicks, which means they've got their share of problems. Seems most of the cars ahead of them are running on the intermediates, hoping that it stays a little bit wet but doesn't dry out totally. And there are your Nissans coming through. Asch and Maaßen. And there comes Nissen, going way wide, but pulling up and getting by the BMW of Menza. The Audi parade is not the parade that they were looking for. They did well in the first race, Pirot coming in 4th, but here in the wet, through it seems to be a different choice of tires than most of the other cars, they're at a disadvantage. The 2 Nissans running together, followed by the rest of the pack here. Here you see the red Alfa Romeo of Stefano Modena moving up on Christian Menzel. He wants to get by as they come down the front straightaway here. They have a right-hander coming up. It looks like Modena may make it. No. Menzel's hanging on. Here's the newcomer and a veteran. but Modena holds on and takes the next corner and moves up a slat. So Menzel, who had done so well in the first race until he was abruptly shoved off the course, is trying to work his way back up, but he's doing it in the wet and having his share of problems here. Modena is certainly one of the veterans of touring car racing, having run in the German Championship and the International Touring Car Championship. Very experienced driver. He and Donner make up the team that is going for the manufacturer's title in the series. But Alfa Romeo is still running a ways behind the rest of the pack. Here comes Muller, and Muller and Alsen are battling, and it's the Audi against the Opel, and they literally are against each other as they bump, and Muller gets by. Here comes Michel Bartels getting by Uwe Alsen. So Alsen lost 2 slots very quickly there. This is the battle back in the pack a ways. There's Muller, Bartels, Alsen. There's another look at it as they go through. It was clean up to this point, and then Alsen and Muller bump. And the man that came out ahead of that deal was Muller. Alsen now has to be careful because Burgstaller is right behind him. So Uwe Alsen, who became famous in Hockenheim for driving without the left side doors, has his hands full here in Zolder. But Winkelhock and Chicato continue to run up front. Aiello is third, followed by the independent Christian Abt, then Ellery, and look at that, Philip Pater in the top 6. Rain still coming down as Jochen Winkelhock, your leader, and he's now put in the fastest lap here in Zolder in the race so far. So far, this pair has evidently made the right choice of tires as the sprinkles continue to come down. But it looks like Chicato wants to challenge. He's moving right up behind his teammate. Can't get too much closer than this. Chicato is right up on the bumper and is not going to be able to make the move here. Or is he? Not quite. Through the chicane. Winkelhock got a good start. Took the lead from his teammate. But now, Chicato is running very strong and right up on the bumper of Winkelhock. Chicato seems to tighten up in the very tight parts of the course. Winkelhock pulls away here in the sweeping corners. We're heading down toward the short chute and then the long, fastest part of the course. And let's see if Chicato is able to pull up before the chicane at the end of this straight. First the short chute, now they head down the long straight behind the start-finish line straight. We'll get into the busy part of the course. The left-hander coming up. Up a hill, heading toward another chicane. Winkelhock showing no problems so far. And Chicato, again, starting to pull up again. You can see here in the busy part of the course, Chicato pulls right up on the bumper of Jochen Winkelhock. And here you get a look at it from the bumper of Jochen Winkelhock. Here we go now. Here comes Chicato. He wants to try to get by, can't do it. Winkelhock holds him off. So Chicato is stronger in the back part of the course. Winkelhock has the front part of the course. Into the chicane. It'll take them back toward the start-finish line. And Chicato pulls inside and starts to pull up. Is he going to be able to make the move here as we come across the start-finish line? Side by side, they got a left-hander coming up. Winkelhock has the line. Chicato drops in behind him. Two of the veterans of touring car racing doing battle here. Mr. Cotto obviously has right now a very strong car, and it seems it might be just a little stronger than Winkelhock, although Winkelhock is holding him off. And with this rain, there's not a whole lot of room to do some passing because the course is wet and everybody is setting up one line through the course. You can see the dry section of the course. Everything else is a little bit damp, so you've got to be careful if you're going to get off the line. Still Winkelhock holds him off. But Chicotto, watch him. He'll pull up here and get tighter and tighter. It's unlikely that Winkelhock will make a mistake. The question is going to be, how can Chicotto get by him if he can? You can see Chicotto pulls up again. They got a slower car ahead of them, Bromberger. And Chicotto is right up on his back bumper. This can't get any tighter through this section. This is where Chicotto is strong and where Winkelhock is a little bit weaker. They're going to have to get by the slower car. There you can see Aiello in that yellow Peugeot, how far he is behind. Through the chicane that'll take them to the start-finish line. Bromberger holds the outside line. Here comes Winkelhock, and Chicotto stays over behind Bromberger, pulls out, and is not going to make any move on Winkelhock here. But Winkelhock is starting to slide just a little bit. Let's see how he goes through the chicane. This might be what Chicotto is looking for. They're into the short chute. They'll come up on the long straightaway, but then the question is going to be when they get into the next chicane. Fastest part of the course. Over 130 miles an hour down this section for these cars with 2-liter engines. There you're riding with Aiello. He's back in third place. Get to see a man at work on a Sunday afternoon. Get another look at the course here. You can also see the dots of rain on the windshield. So it is still raining. It has rained a little hard. It's rained a little bit. Then it drops off a minute. Then it sprinkles again. Not the best of conditions. Laurent Aiello running third here. Heading down the front straightaway in Zolder, Belgium. Then the left-hander. And set up for the sweeping right-hander to set up the short chute later. Now you're looking back in the pack. There is Ellery, number 40. And here comes Pirot. He's trying to move up, but he's not going anywhere right now. Nissen is right behind him in that Dayglow yellow Audi. This is the race back in the pack for about 8th place. Here they come again. Pirot, the defending champion, not off to the greatest of starts here. He's in that Audi right there. They came in with extra weight added to their car because they are 4-wheel drive, and it certainly has hurt Pirot. He has not been able to be up with the leaders much at all in the first 3 races of the season, and here in the 4th he's also not really up there. After 8 laps, Winkelhock your leader, Chicotto, Aiello, Abt, Peter, and look at that, Tamara Vidali, the lone female driver in the field, running 6th in the Audi. Camera stays on Pirot as he continues to battle his car and the track here. Starting on slicks, he put himself at a disadvantage, hoping that it would dry out, but as yet it has not dried out. In fact, it has a couple times rained pretty good, and that has not helped him at all. The 4-wheel drive has saved him in this case. Here comes Chicotto again. Chicotto wants to try to move on Winkelhock, but Winkelhock in that BMW with the blue checkers on the front is out in front. This is the part of the course that belongs to Winkelhock. He'll hold him off easily through here, down the long straight, into the first chicane, but after that is when Chicotto starts to catch up again. Let's see what they can do. And Aiello is moving up. Look at that. Laurent Aiello is starting to close in on the leaders. He's still a little ways back, but he is much closer than he was before. So not only does Cecotto want to get by Winkelhock, but he's got to keep an eye in the mirror because here comes Aiello. Oh, Winkelhock got loose. The lead BMW was loose through the chicane. Either his tires are going down or he's got a problem. Here comes Cecotto. He's not able to get by here, but he certainly now is making a move. He saw his teammate through the corners, not exactly the cleanest of corners. The car wobbling a little bit. And now he wants to really put the pressure on. There, you can see it. Winkelhock, the car starting to slide, the back end moving out a little bit. And Aiello continues to pull up. Cecotto is blinking his teammate. Winkelhock wants to get by, but Winkelhock, of course, wants to hold on to his lead as best he can. But they also don't want to let Aiello get too close. A lot to think about here. Here comes Cecotto as they head down the long straight at the start-finish line. And Cecotto's getting closer. At this point of the course, Winkelhock had dominated. But now Cecotto has closed in on what you could call Winkelhock's part of the course. Something definitely is wrong with Joachim Winkelhock's car. He's having some problems of some kind because he is not controlling the part of the course where he was strong before. The next big chance to pass is coming up here at the chicane, as long as one of the slower cars doesn't get in the way. That's Christian Danner in the Alfa Romeo as they go through the chicane. Cecotto doesn't have a chance here. There you're riding with Joachim Winkelhock getting a look at Cecotto as they get by Donner. Aiello is also right there watching all of this. Cecotto can't get any closer. And the Bugazzi team must be watching this with all kinds of apprehension. Here comes Cecotto, and Cecotto has made the move. Now, can he hold it? He has. Winkelhock drops in behind him. So Johnny Cecotto has taken the lead here in Zolder. His teammate, Joachim Winkelhock, is second, and Winkelhock now is going to have to contend with Laurent Aiello. Let's see if Aiello can pull up or not. Back in the pack, you see a battle here involving Uwe Alsen trying to move up. We join the race now in the very last lap. Cecotto has held the lead. Winkelhock is running second. And Aiello has dropped back just a little bit, seeming to settle in for third place and third place points. Here's your winner of the second race of the day in Zolder, Belgium, Johnny Cecotto, and a very happy Bugazzi team. There's your finish. Cecotto ahead of Winkelhock and Christian Opp, the independent, finishing fourth. But Johnny Cecotto, how'd that pass go on Winkelhock?
He had a better start than me, and he was quick at the beginning, but then after a while my tires were getting better, and it was getting quicker. I saw Aiello was getting closer and closer, so Joe had more problems than me. He was sliding more, and so I started to show my position there and to try to push him to go in front, but the other one was getting closer. So Joe finally let me pass without problems, and then we could control easy the positions.
And there's your point standings, and Johnny Cecotto has taken over the points lead. Aiello drops down to second. Winkelhock drops down into third place. Next race in the series at the Nürburgring. Hope you enjoyed the racing today here in Zolder, Belgium in the Super Touring Car Cup. This is Milt Fitzwater reporting.